I know you moved on to someone new. I hope life is beautiful. You were the light for me to find my truth. I want to say thank you. Leaving to find my soul. Told her I had to go. And I know it ain't pretty when our hearts get broke. Too young to feel this soul, watching us both turn cold. Oh, I know it ain't pretty when two hearts get broke. Yeah, I know it ain't pretty when two hearts get broke. I hope someday we'll sit down together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. All our troubles we'll lay to rest and we'll wish we could come back to these days, these days. Oh, these days, these days. These days, these days. 3 years of up and down, nothing to show for it now. And I know it ain't pretty when the fire burns out. Calling me when I'm drunk, remind me of what I've done. And I know it ain't pretty when you're trying to move on, yeah. I hope someday we sit down together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. All our troubles we'll lay to rest. We wish we could come back to these days, these days. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, yeah, that these days, these days. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, yeah, to these days, these days. Cigarettes in the ashtray, reminiscing those past days. I thought you'd end up with my last name, but that all changed. And I've traveled around the world to think of where you're living now. Heard you moved to Oxford, got an apartment and settled down. Every once in a while I start texting, write a paragraph, but then I delete the message. Thinking about you like a pastime, I'd cry you a river, get you baptized, or I wasn't ready to act right. I always used to think I'd get you back, right? Then they say things fall apart and you move to Brooklyn and study art. Love is just a tool to remind us who we are, and that we're not alone, we're waiting in the dark. I hope someday we sit down together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. Oh, our troubles we'll lay to rest and we'll wish we could come back to these days, these days. We'll wish we could come back to these days, these days.